Hello everyone, welcome to Level Change channel. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real 777 pilot. I operate a passenger and cargo flight, and today we are going to take this 777 freighter, most probably here from Toronto, where I have the airplane set up right now, to Boston. Most probably because I want to do this flight online on the VATSIM servers. So I'm going to search for controllers around, and half an hour ago Toronto and Boston, they were online, both center controllers. So I'm going to check that one more time, and then we discuss where we go. Departing here then from Toronto anyway, and let's see what we have. Usually I can show you my Navigraph as well. Let me see. Yep, here we have Navigraph. So as you can see right now, Toronto is online. If I click here on Toronto, we have Rob Nabiesco, is an instructor level 3 working in Toronto. We do have an 80s for Toronto as well. So 80s right now is information Charlie. We have light snow. I am in Toronto right now in real life, so the weather is exactly like this. I was checking here. Sometimes there are some snow, very light snow, and then at sometimes we have clear weather, and it's going like this the entire day. Okay, so most probably we are departing Toronto then, and we do have Boston. Also, Boston online. Matthew is a center controller level C1, and we do have also an 80s for Boston. And right now we have gusty winds in Boston. Woo! And -4 is the temperature. So those are good places for us to talk about cold weather operations. So I think if you agree with me, we are going to proceed with this flight from Toronto to Boston. Okay, I'm going to do it everything slowly, so we can work together on this flight. Okay, so let me go back to the sim. Before I connect to VATSIM servers, we are going to do a couple of things on our simulator. Let's go inside the sim. Once we go inside the sim, I'm going to use the center CDU here to, let's say, do some sort of checks on our airplane. Okay, first thing that I want to go is to Pmdg setup, aircraft and displays, and make sure we have kilograms. Okay, kilograms and degrees Celsius, that's what I need, that's what I'm used to. Okay, so we have it like this. Let me just check if there is something. This is the first time that I'm opening this Atlas airplane, so I just want to make sure we have everything in place. I like this one. And what else we can think about? 10 minutes. Okay, what else on? Yep, that's it. For the equipment, I think we have this type of tickets. Yeah, we can go with this one. It's not a big deal. And 30,000 feet. We keep on climb. 1,000 for everything. Default thrust reduction. This flaps 1 is all good. It's good for our noise abatement procedures out of here, so I can keep it. And let's use the digital clock. I do prefer. ADF installed. Yes, it is. APU to placa. Let's take it. No SATCOM. Not installed. And for the calls, we do not have 60. That's perfect to me. And anything else? Altitude approach RO is yes. Yeah. Auto pre-flight uplinks, no. I'm going to show you how to do it. No for this one as well, for the forecast. And that's it. The last step is on options, simulation and inertial. Let's take it realistic one. That's what we need. And I think everything else is it is supposed to be. Okay, so now the aircraft is set, and we go to FS actions. First thing that I'm going to do on the payload is to set empty. So we have an airplane, an empty airplane. We can start working, and we can start even loading our cargo as we go through. And for the fuel, 9 tons, it is enough to start, so it's a good start for us today. Okay, so everything is set here. If we go outside now and we go closer to the airplane, we are going to see that the airplane is empty. Okay, so there we go. Another thing that I'm going to do right now is to use the same one to go to Pmdg setup, state load. Let me just make sure you can hear me. I think you can hear me. Mateus Dejan is here. GJ, no, it's JG Contim também mandando boa tarde. Obrigado aí, Contim. Obrigado aí, Mateus. So I think you are listening to me, otherwise people will tell me that you cannot listen. So I think it's all set. So here we are. I'm going to select cold and dark. Okay, so we have everything as cold and dark, so we can start the procedures from the beginning. And to start the procedures from the beginning, okay, let's think about our flight plan. Okay, so I can go to SimBrief. Okay, let's take it to another level here. We go to SimBrief, and then on SimBrief we have new flight plan, and I think you cannot see, yeah, the top down menu you cannot see, but basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to select here GTA, which is the Giant, this is the Atlas call sign. I always like 1986. This is my year of birth. We are going to depart Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu, which is Toronto, and we are going to Boston. Okay, you cannot see the weather, so that's why I'm going to change actually this screen to full screen. I don't really like this screen, you see everything, but I'm going to do like this because I want to show you a couple of things. As we use Toronto, I'm going to check for the weather. This is something that the pilots, they don't do at this stage. This is something that the dispatch is going to do for the pilots. So they are going to check weather, they are going to check all the conditions along the route to create the flight plan for the pilot, and then the pilots, they can add fuel on top of this. Okay, but it's saying that weather is VFR right now. Ceiling for on the matter is 3,500 feet. Visibility is more than 6 stator mile, which means more than 10 kilometers. Okay. Runways right now is using, they are using runway 06 and 05 and 06 left for departure and arrival. The headwind component is 1 and the crosswind component from the left is 10, which is more than enough. Dimensions I want to see in meters is much better for us. So we have the longest runway for departure 3,389 meters and the short one 2,956. For a short sector like this, both are okay, is not a big deal. So this is the method, and I want to see the forecast. So right now we have 1837 UTC. So right now is 1911 UTC. So let's say that we are going to be in no, this is so 19 becoming from 21, from 19 to 21 is going to be gusty winds. And even from 21 we still have the gusty winds. Visibility is good, so no issues for departure here. And this is the VATSIM 80s. They are using departure runway 6 left. So it's only 6 left on VATSIM. It's good for us. The runway is wet, 40% wet and 20% 1/8 inches of wet snow. So yeah, it's exactly like it is in real life right now. I'm just in the airport. NOTAMs, we don't really care about NOTAMs. So good weather for departure here. Let's think about Boston. Still visual. I want to see runways in meters. So let me just check if you are not sending any message on. No, that's all fine. So right now we're saying that arrival runways are 27 and 32. 32 is quite short for the 777, 1,500 meters. So most probably runway 27 with 14 knots crosswind. 2,100 meters. That's not the best option, but the runways in Boston, they are quite short. Okay, so let's see how we go. And the weather looks okay, and the forecast is showing up to 34 knots, and from tomorrow at 3 Zulu it's going to go down to 25. So yeah, it's going to be gusty winds there in Boston all the way, but as you can see, visibility does not change, so it's not a big deal for us to go to Boston. Okay, Real World 80s is here for Boston, and they are working on approaches are being conducted to converging runways. Yes, departure runway 33 arriving 27 left and 32. Yeah, that's what they have here, 27 and 32. And NOTAMs, we don't care about it. So that's it. Now I'm going to select the 777. Is the freighter. I'm going to use the altimeter configuration. Registration. Let me just check what is our registration. On the sim here is November 703 Golf Tango. So I'm going to use this one here. November 703 Golf Tango. The FIN number, what we have there on, it's 703. 703. And cell call, let me see if we have a cell call on our panel, is Quebec Sierra Echo Juliet. So Quebec Sierra Echo Juliet. And cost index is auto. Fuel factor, I'm going to still use +3. I was used to use +3 from the 777-300. I'm going to use the same for the 777 freighter. This is the first flight I'm going to do on the freighter, so we keep like this. Taxi out 10 minutes. I'm going to increase today because we are going to do some cold weather operations, and most probably we are going to de-ice, so I'm going to use 20 minutes, and taxiing in Boston 10 minutes. So that's the fuel I need. It's IFR, so departing runway 6 left and arrival runways one more time, and meters 27. Yeah, 27 for arrival for now. Altitude is auto. Passengers, there are no passengers. Freighter for auto. Fuel planning, I want to have 10% contingency reserve of 30 minutes. That's all fine. And I don't want to arrive with less than 6 tons. Okay, no less than 6 tons on arrival, and we can generate our flight. Okay, so as we are generating our flight, we have here all the information, and I can even pre-file this on a network, which is VATSIM. Pre-file, there we go. GTA 1986, it's all fine, and I'm going to file flight plan. Flight plan filed. So there we go. What we have here important for us, I'm going to check inside the airplane, but basically 1 hour flight, 39,000 feet, cost index 35, and the fuel we are going to need 16309. And what is the en route? En route burn 7,300 kilos. So basically 16 minus 7, we are going to land there with something around 8.9 tons. 8 tons, more or less. So we are all fine. And this is good for us today. Okay, so I'm going back to the sim. You know, we have the flight plan already. And before we connect to the VATSIM servers, I'm going to do maintenance job right now. So usually when the situation is like this, when the airplane is there on the apron, maintenance are the first personnel to arrive to the airplane. So what I'm going to do here, this is not like real life, but we use FS actions here to disarm all the doors and then open the left door. Yeah, it's opening the left door, and usually to open this left door there would be stairs on the 1 Lima. Yeah, so these are the stairs that we have. That door is open, and another thing that we can have as we are here is the maintenance van. Okay, so the maintenance van is there, so there is somebody taking care of this airplane. And we also want ground power, so we request the ground power, and now we do have the ground power here as well. So we are able to start our electrical power up on this 777. Okay, yeah, I can see some cool. I can see some ice here on the leading edge slats. Perfect. Let's see if GSX can do a de-ice and an anti-ice for us and clear this on the airplane. I don't know. Let's see if it works. Okay, so now that we have everything, and I can go back to the main menu, and we can start our electrical power up by turning our battery on. Then we make sure wipers are off, hydraulics are off apart from the engine hydraulic pumps. And what else we need here? We need to check, it's going to take a while to check for the gear, but the gear is selected down, the flap is selected up, and alternate flaps are in the off position. So at this stage, we are ready to take our primary and secondary external power. We are going to see some checks on the airplane. Let me just make sure, yeah, you are following everything right now. Okay, so there are a couple of things that the airplane is going to perform some self-tests, and even if we keep the status open here, you're going to see a couple of status messages coming and going. Okay, so basically this is the electrical power up for the 777. Next stage that we have is to bring, let me see if we can reload SimBrief, if it shows something. Yes, SimBrief is okay. So we can request how we do this right now. It's not the boarding, catering service, refueling, boarding, and what do we have as additional services here on GSX? GPU, de-ice is going to be later on. So I need to go back. On the boarding, yes, on the boarding. That's the one that I want. So I need to select the handling operator. I'm going to select here Air Canada. And are they going to ask me if I want to board the crew? Yes or no? No, it doesn't say anything. Yeah. But things are moving around the airplane. Most probably they are going to open the cargo door themselves. While we do this, I'm going to open my vPilot and connect to the VATSIM servers. Oh, we have another stair there. So another stair is coming. That means I should release my stair, right? So FS actions, service, and I release this stair. Don't close the door. Keep the door open. Okay. Door. Next. Arm. Disarm. Open. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Now looks better. That door open. Only one stair. Attach pushback tug now. Not really. Not really. Going to take a while. Okay, the pilot needs an update. I'm working on it. Now they are opening the main deck cargo door. Looks okay. How? There is because I think because of SimBrief we already have our payload on board. Let me see. Yeah, it's there. 24801. Is that what we have? Let me see on my electronic flight bag. Request data from SimBrief. Then request flight plan, and we can go on estimate zero fuel weight is 207915. So this is wrong. 248115 is the maximum. We do not want the maximum. I'm going to set empty for now. That's what we want. Yeah, nothing is inside for now. Okay, cool. That's what we are supposed to have right now. And GTA 1986 is our call sign. It's a Boeing 777 freighter. Sail call code was one more time. Sail call code is here. Quebec Sierra Echo Juliet. This is the code that I want is Boeing 77 freighter. Okay, connect. And something that I just realized, was supposed to be standby and initially 2000 or something like that. It's always missing from it's always missing from this Pmdg code and arc. Oh, look the windows. Cool. This is all because window heat is off. Okay, so now this was supposed to be on from the beginning. Also something that is not part of the preliminary. So a couple of things. Even cabin utility was supposed to be on. Window heat was supposed to be on. Okay, so yeah, wow, that was fast. So the windows were heated instantly, but at least it's something that Pmdg and Microsoft Flight Simulator are simulating. Okay, cool, good enough. I didn't know about it. Okay, what else? Now I'm on the VATSIM and couple of messages here, couple of failures, but that's not a big deal. Boston and Toronto are there, and let me just make sure that I do have the correct push to talk. Right control key. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so pilots, they come to the airplane at this stage and they start working on the preliminary pre-flight. So first thing that we want to make sure is that we have hydraulic fluid for the system left, center, and right. APU is right now is off, but we want to check the APU quantity, so I'm not starting, I'm just taking it to on, and then I can see APU oil quantity 7.7, more than enough. We can turn it off. And oxygen for the crew and the supernumeraries, they are okay. Next step is to check the engine. Oil quantity 25-24, and we do a recall here, no exceedance. Cabin auto, hydraulic pressure system left plus center plus right, engine shutdown, doors, landing altitude, TCAS, brake source, emergency lights, and fuel pressure, engine left plus right. It's all correct. Okay, so as this is complete, we can continue with the first, the part of the first officer on the preliminary, which is taking the 802.1 Army emergency exit lights. I do like at this stage, navigator inertial, that is correct, we can cancel. I do like at this stage also to reset all the checklists. So checklist resets, reset all. And I also like to check communication to see if it's working. So what I want right now is an 80s from Charlie Yankee Zulu, and I want it from VATSIM, just to make sure communications are working. As this is the first flight of the day, captain is going to select parking brake to on, so first officer can go outside and check also for the brakes, the brake wear. Okay, so that's it for now. First officer can go outside, can do a check. The ice is gone. Ice is gone. Very nice. Something that I noticed when I was working here, it says on the payload icing 1.9. I don't know what that means, if we can change this or not, but it is here. I think we got a communication message. Yes. So information echo 31018 gusting 26, 15 stated mile, broken clouds 3400, temperature -4, altimeter 3011. We can even use this right now. So 3011. Is set, and departure runway 6 left. We have runway 06. Where is runway 06? Runway 06, wet, 100% wet, 90% wet, and 10% 1/8 inches wet snow, 80% wet, and 20% 1/8 wet snow. And we have the wide clear for our takeoff as 160 feet. Remaining wide on the runway is 1 inch wet snow. Okay, more than 160 feet from the center line. Sorry, more than 100, more in this case, more than 80 feet to each side of the center line. We have 1 inch of wet snow. We have information echo. Okay, that's it. So let's work now a little bit on our flight plan here. We do have all the information needed. We do have our map departure. We are departing. Oops. Let's go again. So we are departing from I want airport. I'm pinning this, and parking areas infield. That's the one. We are on position 503 right now. For departure, I'm expecting Kepta 3, so let's see on our SID, Kepta 3. Let's see where we can find. And there we go. Kepta 3, departing from runway 15. No. Kepta 3 departing from runway 06 left. So this is Kepta 3 departure. In case we need to come back, the longest runway is ILS 06, if I'm not wrong. Sorry, 05. We can keep this ILS 05. For arrival, I'm going to think about our arrival already. JFound 2, RNAV arrival, and the ILS there was runway 27. Yep, that's what we have. Then on the airport, I want to see airport information. And where do we go? Let me see if I can find any place there in Boston. Cargo, North Cargo, yeah. We have here North Cargo and cargo ramp. We'll be landing on runway 27. So we go to cargo ramp. Okay, so let's see here. There are no places on cargo ramp. How is the North Cargo? No, I'm not taxiing all the way to North Cargo. If there are no place here, I just park the airplane here on the cargo ramp and that's fine. So yeah, that's the one that I wanted as well. I just want to work now with the pinned charts. Starting from airport. Okay, and the last step for us today is the performance. So we are departing most probably 6 left. And we import the weather. Weight, what is our takeoff weight? We are expecting to have 224. So 224 tons. We import the CG from the airplane. It doesn't change anything here. And anti-ice. We do have engines at least. Was broken at 3,400, right? Yeah, so engines are okay. And runway condition, that is important. Was it showing? One more time, let me review the communication page here. And was showing, yeah, the code is 555, so we can use wet. The worst case will be wet snow. Worst case will be wet snow. Let me just check what it works if I say. Yeah, dry snow. We do not have sunny water. So in this case, it's wet for us. We can calculate, and it's more than enough. We can even use takeoff 2 and 48 degrees. More than enough for our current weight. Perfect. So not a big deal. And to land in Boston so far will be runway 27. And we import the weather and flaps 30. Anti-ice most probably will be engines. We can calculate maximum weight 268.15. Perfect. This is maximum landing weight for the airplane as well. We are taking off with 224. So way below. So perfect. We have all the calculations here. We have our electronic flight bag as well. So now what I'm going to do is, I didn't see the third page. Yeah, I saw everything. So there are no new messages. So com should get away. Icon is not getting away. Page 1, yes, I saw it. Page 2. Page 3, can cancel. Okay. You don't need to cancel on the real airplane. You just take it off as soon as you read everything. Okay, so how are we doing right now? We have o Fernando, piloto POA. Good afternoon, Fonseca. This video about the winter operation is really cool. Say hi to the folks in the Pmdg group. Galera aí do Pmdg, obrigado pela presença aí também. Tô sempre acompanhando lá o canal do Rafa. Tô sempre de olho nas discussões no grupo ali também. Obrigado, pessoal. Guilherme Vensky, good afternoon, nice live, thank you. Fernando tá aí. Salve, mestre. Tiago Gotardi, boa tarde. E o Dani Gilkmanas, que eu conheci lá no encontro. Fala, Fonseca, great flight to do, thank you so much. Pode falar sobre o que é esse Fuel Factor, Fonseca? Matheus, vou responder primeiro em inglês, depois eu falo para você também, tá? So, Matheus is asking for the Fuel Factor that we have on SimBrief, okay? Basically, this Fuel Factor is how much your airplane is, the performance of your airplane in terms of fuel burn is away from the standard, okay? Basically, when the manufacturer finish the aircraft production, they have a certain parameters for the airplanes, and then you start using this airplane, and maybe the airplane that you have, it will have a better performance or a worse performance compared to the standard one, okay? And then this is the percentage that you use to calculate your fuel. Of course, you need to do a couple of flights. So the companies, they track the flight, they track the distance, the time, and how you burn the fuel, and then this goes into a table and gives you this percentage, and you enter this percentage on the computers that are generating the flight plan and also on the FMC. So on the FMC, you are going to see here on FMC drag and fuel flow. Okay, so we are going to enter this really soon. And then the FMC is also going to be updated to the real condition of your airplane. Okay, so this is the fuel factor. Ok, então, Matheus, é o seguinte. A aeronave, ela nem sempre se comporta, todas as aeronaves, elas não se comportam da mesma maneira, né? Apesar de elas serem muito parecidas, vai ter ali certas diferenças entre elas. Às vezes um rebite mal colocado, ou os rebites muito bem colocados, alguma parte, enfim. A aeronave, elas não são 100% iguais. E essa diferença aí é calculado logo no início da operação da aeronave e aí atualizado essa informação, o quanto por cento ela está fora do padrão. E inclusive a aeronave pode sair melhor do que, digamos assim, a aeronave padrão. E isso é monitorado pelas empresas e vai mudando de tempo em tempo. Conforme tipo, você vai desgastando essa aeronave, talvez você vai ter um probleminha ali com a pintura. Esse probleminha com a pintura ali está causando um arrasto um pouquinho maior e está consumindo um pouquinho mais de combustível. Então, de tempos em tempos, a gente vai ajustando aí a operações, né, a parte técnica de operações da empresa, vai monitorando esse valor e aí passa para os pilotos, passa para o pessoal do despacho. O pessoal do despacho calcula o plano de voo baseado nessa porcentagem aí de diferença e os pilotos também inserem ali no FMC, ali onde eu mostrei ali na questão do Fuel Factor. Beleza? O Fernando, para descontrair a live mundial, mas tem 2 Fernando de Porto Alegre. Cadê o outro Fernando? Caraca, eu tô devagar hoje. Geoff Peterson was also here. José Ferri, grande Fonseca, boa tarde, boa live, meu amigo, obrigado. Henrique Lopes, conteúdo muito bem explicado como sempre, um grande abraço. Tá aí o Henrique Lopes, que eu também conheci lá no primeiro encontro de aviação virtual. Então, é isso aí o que a gente tem até agora, né? Okay, so let's continue. I just explained to my Brazilian friends what the fuel flow means, just like I did in English, because it was a question from a Brazilian fellow. So when something like this happens, I'm going to explain it in English, and then I explain in Portuguese as well to the Brazilians, okay? So at this stage, captain that is going to be the pilot flying can start working on the FMC. Okay, so it says here enter inertial position. I'm going to do it really soon, and here we can take the Pmdg tablet, right? How we do it here. Okay, so maximum that we can have, and we are going to use this to fill our flight plan. So cruise degradation is here plus 0.8. Okay, so we type arm, and then fuel factor will be slash, you need to enter plus 0.8. So that's what Mateus asked to us, and that's what we have here. So we have the correct airplane, database is active for the current date, and we are departing Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu. We use our GPS position as inertial position, and then for the route I'm going to enter Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu. Destination is Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra, Boston. Our flight is GTA Giant 1986. Oops, didn't work. So Golf Tango Alpha 1986 as flight number. Yeah, not company route, as flight number, and then route request. We have the route from SimBrief, so I'm going to set this payload, and I'm going to set the fuel as well. Let me see if GSX can do it for us. So request refueling. Right now what we have is, how I take this out? Okay, 9.1, and I'm going to select this route requesting. Let's see outside if the fuel truck is going to arrive. Yeah, fuel truck is coming there, rushing to the airplane. Yes, perfect. Let's see if we do have some sort of refueling by GSX. Okay, so route 1 uplink is ready. We can load this one. Route 1 uplink loading. Let's follow. Refueling from outside. Is it coming? Yes. Texaco. At least that's the way we say this brand in Portuguese. Texaco. I think this is related to Texas, right? Texas company or something like that. So I think here we are going to see a progressive refueling, but on the airplane itself is going to be instant. If I'm not mistaken, that's the way it works. So it is still connecting. Very nice, very nice. Is it requesting something from us inside? Not really, still 9.1. So I'm going to finish these, and soon we are going to see if we have more fuel or not. So what we have here on our route is direct BMPA, then Avon, then Hank, then Ponct, and then from Ponct JFON 2. So I can activate, execute this route, and then go into departure, 6 left. I'm selecting Capta 3. It was there, Capta 3 departure. Bumpa, 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 bumpa transition. Can execute. And on arrival, we do have ILS 27, IB transition, and JFound 2, and punct transition. Okay, I'm going to use this time also to check the departure. So the Pmdg SID, I'm going to check for arrival later on. This is Skepta 3. So how it works, it says unless otherwise assigned by ATC, we climb heading 057 to 1000 feet. Continue climb heading 057 or as assigned. Inspect radar vectors to mobile. It is there. Or assign, then proceed via depicted route. So runway 06, 1000, and then we can fly or continue on the heading 057. Transition out to this 18,000. Minimum safe altitude around 100 miles is 4,900. Perfect. That's what we have. Later on I check for the arrival. Okay, as we do have the route here, I can make a route copy and go to performance initialization. Reserves. Let's work on reserve. It says 7.6. So 7.6 for reserves. Zero fuel weight, we are working with 207.951, which is basically 208. Cruise altitude up there, 390 for us today. At least that's what we are expecting, and cost index 35. We are going to see performance later on, but for takeoff, usually we have an engine out acceleration of 1000, acceleration height is 1000, and thrust reduction, yeah, flaps 1 makes sense, especially if we were going to depart with flaps 5. Oops, I was there. Yeah, performance, usually departure flaps 5. No, trim is 5, flap is 5, yeah, so flaps 1 for thrust reduction works fine for us today. Next step for us is to go to route data and make a wind request. Let's take this out. I never remember where I have, yeah, it's still 9.1, still there. We load the winds, and I'm going to come here on the fuel, and I'm going to select 16,500. That's what we need for today. Yeah, and it already shows something outside. Okay, cool, really soon. This was our refilling complete. 16.5. We do have the winds. We can execute and go to FMC.com descent forecast, and also request the descent forecast that is going to pop up really soon. On the left side, I can keep FMC and legs page. So request was sent. It's coming soon. And we load. We do have everything here, so our route is complete, at least until performance. Okay, so there we go. Captain just finished FMC. He's going to check now and complete his pre-flight, VORs, traffic, lower, airport, and that's it. Flight director on. And then oxygen, yeah, it's all set. We have 326 matches with our compass. All indications is 326. 570 as airport elevation. Toga Toga flight director. We are all set. Oh, strange that we do not have range rings. I do like range rings, so I'm going to come here. Pmdg setup, aircraft displays, and where is it? Range arcs as on. Yes, thank you so much. So range arcs as on. Yes, that's the way I like range arcs. Usually I ever flown airplanes with range arcs, apart from 3 on my current company that came from China. So usually we do have these arcs. at least once you have traffic and or weather radar on, or also terrain. We can cancel this ACAS here, and then we check everything. This check is really easy, and it's done. We can talk to ATC. Actually, at this stage, we would be talking to ground, and that's it. Okay, then the first officer that was on the walk around is doing his pre-flight now. Pretty much we have everything in place. Storm light works. Navigation light logo we don't need. Lower cargo. As we do not have any cargo today, we can select these to off. And this we cannot select entirely to off. Look, if I come here and I select off, we do get an ACAS message. Really soon we'll have a ACAS message. So we need to keep at least in low heating. Okay, heating low, so we don't have the ACAS message. Specs they are on, even though APU is off right now. That's the way it is supposed to be. Then the first officer here, flight director on, same thing as the captain. Traffic, no, not waypoints. I want airports. Also his side for oxygen. Check Toga, flight director, correct heading, correct altitude, correct altimeter, auto brake RTO, everything is in place here. And in the back, usually he's talking to ATC at this stage. And there we go. With everything like this, well, we can pre-select the departure heading is 57. And I go to the chart, and we are supposed to get an altitude from the chart as well, which is states for initial climb, altitude unless otherwise assigned by ATC, maintain 5,000. There we go. 5,057. It's all set now. We can go for the checklist. And pre-flight checklist, oxygen tested 100%, FO also answers tested 100%, flight instruments heading 326, altimeter 3011, FO as well, heading 326, altimeter 3011, pre-flight checklist is complete. We can close the checklist, and now we can call Toronto. Let me see if you said something else while we are here. Ali, ó, o piloto POA também, ó, Fernando. Agora que eu me liguei. Obrigado. DDD 51 lá no Fly NG. A galera tá se reconhecendo lá no Brasil pelo DDD. Digo, semelhante ao fan blower do Airbus, qual procedimento deve ser feito na hora do de-ice do 777? Good afternoon, feliz 2025. So here, Digo is asking what the procedure for de-ice on the 777. Actually, that's something that we are going to talk really soon, okay? Because there are actually two different procedures, and I think a lot of people without knowledge, they confuse both, okay? So we do have de-ice. What is de-ice? Is to remove ice from the airplane, okay? So you are removing the ice that is accumulated on the airplane, okay? If the airplane was on the ground for a long time, and then, for example, the airplane stayed overnight on the ground, and during the night there was snow, and then the next day the weather is good, most probably you just need a de-ice. You remove the ice, the snow from the airplane, and as there are no more contaminants, there are no more rain, snow, or anything, you don't need anything else, and you can depart. If the next day you also have icing conditions, so you have rain, snow, slush, or anything related, anything humid in the air, and temperature is below 10 degrees centigrade plus 10 degrees positive, you may need also an anti-ice. And then for the anti-ice is the application of fluid on most of the surfaces of the airplane, and this is going to prevent ice to accumulate, for example, on the wings, on the horizontal stabilizer, and so on. Okay, of course this fluid has a time limit that it can withstand without or can withstand this amount of, or the current amount of ice or rain or snow that you have from accumulating on the wings. So we choose the type of fluid, we choose the percentage of this fluid, and we then have a certain time to depart. If we cannot depart within that time, we need to go back and de-ice, so remove the contaminants from the airplane, and anti-ice again, so we have that time again, and then we try to depart one more time within that time, and that's how we go. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit of this in Portuguese for my friends right now. Então, pessoal, galera confunde muito duas coisas. De-ice e anti-ice não são a mesma coisa, são coisas diferentes. De-ice é quando você tira o gelo da aeronave, tá? Digamos que a aeronave ficou parada de pernoite e durante a noite teve uma nevasca. Então, no outro dia o tempo tá bom, você vai precisar de de-ice para tirar a neve ali, o gelo daquela aeronave. Mas digamos que teve essa neve durante a noite e a neve continua no outro dia. Então você primeiro tem que tirar, primeiro tem que fazer um de-ice, aí você tira esses contaminantes da asa, você tira esse gelo, essa neve das asas, das superfícies de comando lá, do profundor e tudo mais. E ainda está nevando, então vai se acumular gelo, neve ali de novo na aeronave. Aí para não acumular, a gente faz um anti-ice, ou seja, a gente espalha um fluido na asa e esse fluido vai por algum tempo permitir que o gelo, a neve não grude ali na asa e você pode então decolar dentro de um período de tempo que é assegurado ali, que você não vai ter um problema com esse gelo, tá? Se esse tempo passar e você ainda não conseguiu decolar, você tem que voltar e fazer o processo de novo, tá? E é isso que a gente vai fazer hoje aqui. Não o processo de novo, mas vamos fazer uma vez, vamos fazer esse anti-ice aí uma vez. So guys, we are going to do this at least de-ice. I can even think about an anti-ice today because right now I don't see snow, but the snow is coming and going, as you can see it. That is downtown, but to the north of the airport there are some weather, and this weather can come and bring ice and snow again. So we are going to do a de-ice and an anti-ice today to show you. Okay, so let's talk to ATC and let's ask for our clearance. So right now what we have is 125775 as Toronto. So 125, let me already take this to 121.5, which is the emergency frequency. And then one more time, I have to set here 125775, and current 80s is still echo. 125775. Guys, please let me know if you hear ATC. No. I think now you can hear. Yep. So now it's working, and I should take pen and a piece of paper. Give me a minute. I will be back. Okay, there we go, pen and a piece of paper. So let me see, just before calling them, you say something else. Maybe a video on typical weights, like here in US. I assume it's light-headed to Asia and heavy on the return leg. Geoff Patterson, actually, it depends a lot on the contract. It's quite common, yes, to have more goods coming from Asia towards United States. A lot of things manufactured in China towards the United States and to the rest of the world. But sometimes you do have some things going to Asia as well. What I see a lot is actually some companies that do not do this flight from US to Asia. They do the way back from Asia to US, but usually from US they go to Europe. So they take goods from from United States to Europe, and then some goods from Europe to Asia, and then they bring all this stuff from China direct to United States. It can change a lot, so it depends on the contract. But yeah, as you said, it's something, I will not say standard, but it's very common. So let's go. Let's talk to ATC. Rono Center, hello, Giant 1986. Is it gone? Oh, I am broadcasting at the wrong one. I forgot that everything is working here on the left side.
Please help as well. Toronto Centre, Cockpit 47 Heavy. Information Alpha on the ground, Hamilton cargo apron. Requesting IFR clearance to Winnipeg.
Always going to Winnipeg. Cargo Jet 427. Clear to Winnipeg via the Monroe 2 departure. Flight plan route, depart runway 30, squawk code 0506.
Alright, clear to Winnipeg on the Monroe 2 departure, flight plan route, runway 30, squawk 0506.
I'm just waiting to talk to ATC.
Cargo Jet 427, thanks to read back. Correct information in Hamilton, is Alpha. Give me a call when you are ready for taxi.
Roger, Alpha on board and we'll call for taxi. Thanks. Cargo Jet 47
Toronto, hello, Giant 1986 Heavy.
And who was that calling?
That is Giant 1986. We are on infield cargo apron Toronto ground.
Giant 1986, okay, I see that. Looks like the call sign's a little off, but that's fine. Giant 1986, you're cleared to Boston via the Kepta 3 departure, bump a transition, flight plan route. Depart runway 06 left, squawk 0575.
Giant 1986 is cleared to Boston, Kepta 3, departure bumper transition, flight plan route, runway 06 left, squawk 0575.
Giant 1986, read back correct information in Toronto Echo. Give me a call when you're ready for pushback.
We will do, and we have Echo. Thank you so much.
Kilo, if you're with squawk code 05.
What we do have here is our clearance. We are clear to Boston.
0533.
And then Kepta 3 departure, bumper transition, flight plan route, runway is 06 left, squawk 0575.
228 Kilo, super.
Emirates 228 Kilo, thank you. You're identified at flight level 380 in the future.
So 0575. And that's all set. So now, as we know, nothing is going to change on our performance here. I can enter performance. So basically we go for takeoff 2, select temperature of 48.
Alpha Kilo, Bravo and Delta, cross runway 33 right.
Flaps 5, CG current 1 is 26, speed is 134,
runway 33 right, circle.
For V1, 146 for VR,
And Air Canada 42,
and 150 for V2.
That could be a lane 5 Alpha Kilo Bravo.
146.
Runway 33 right, circle 42.
Yep. 34, 146, 150. And then if you go index, approach, flaps 30 speed is 138, matches with 138. So we are good to go. And I can take now airport. And we'll see later on how is this taxi for us. I am expecting to vacate apron. Actually, we just have Echo Bravo, and then most probably Echo Bravo Delta 8 or Delta 6 departure runway 6 left. So I can take this from here, and that's it. This goes to index takeoff, and as we have 150 here, we can select 150 as well on the V2 on the indicated airspeed for departure. 150 LNAV, VNAV. Actually, this is going to be a heading departure. If it's different than 057, different from what we have here on LNAV, which says heading 057 and vectors on 057, I need to disengage LNAV and only work with heading. So far, as we do not have a different heading, we can keep the one that we have on the box. I think everything is almost ready, so I can ask waiting for your actions to close 1 Lima. Okay, so doors, close all. Let's see outside. Why is open again? Close all. Thank you so much. Okay, everything is being closed. Let me see what GSX does to us now. Boarding is completed. Perfect. So I can ask for prepare for pushback and departure. Do you request the ice treatment? Yes. To show you guys today, that's what we want to do. So I'm going to do on stand sometimes. We taxi the airplane out to a place like this area here in Toronto, and then we do the de-ice and anti-ice here, so we are closer to the runway and we can depart from there. Okay, but that's not the case today. We are going to do it on the stand. Yeah, let's see if the anti-ice, yeah, anti-ice trucks are coming. So for the anti-ice, there is a procedure that we have to do. Oh, it's ready for treatment, so give me a minute. And then in this case, this is a procedure that we don't do. Oh. It chooses automatically for us, and I think the fluid one is just a de-ice, so it's what we need today. And let me just go here and check for the supplementary procedure to see. Okay, so they are doing they are doing the de-ice in this case, just removing the ice that we had on our airframe. We do not need anti-ice with this weather. There is no precipitation right now. Taxiways are clear and so on. So not a big deal. The only thing is that on the supplementary procedures for cold weather, I was supposed to We were supposed to take the APU as needed. We don't need the APU. The flaps, they stay up. And pack switches, they were supposed to be off. That's the only thing I'm missing, if I'm not mistaken. So the pack switches, they were supposed to be off. Is not changing because they are off right now based on the current selections that I have. Engine bleeds, if the engines are running, they are off. And APU bleed switch is, if the APU is running, is off. So it's all done. So now they are supposed to finish this treatment. And we cannot start the APU right now. Now we have to wait for them to leave to start the APU. So we start the APU, remove the ground power, then we do the before start, and we can keep going. I'm going to remove my webcam so you can see the entire screen. Yeah, so they finish. Usually in real life they also do on the tail, on the horizontal stabilizer as well.
De-icing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing coded. Fluid type 1. Concentration at 75%. I'm disconnecting. Good day.
Okay, so he's disconnecting. We can start our APU. Specs are back to auto. Can work with the before start for now. Seat belts on.
42 Heavy Toronto. Contact me once you're airborne. The wind's 320, 19, gust 24. Clear for takeoff. Runway 06 left.
Hydraulic fuel. Beacon.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Okay, that's fine. So MCP V2 150 heading 057 altitude 5000, takeoff speeds 134, 146 and 150. CDO pre-flight completed. Trim I forgot 4.25. There we go. 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. Before start checklist is complete. Now we have APU. No, not yet. Almost there. Now APU is on. We take off external power and we can remove external power. Release external power. Oil shocks removed. There we go. Ready to move.
Check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay. Toronto Giant 1986 ready for push and start.
Giant 1986 Toronto. Make sure the transponder's on, please. Giant 1986 Toronto, thanks. Push back tail to the west. Call ready for taxi.
Tail west, call you for taxi. Giant 1986. Tail west. So tail west. Well, we only have one option to get out of this apron here.
Cargo Jet 427 Heavy Toronto runway 30. The information Hamilton Bravo altimeter 3014. Taxi through the apron. Charlie runway 06. Hold short 30.
There we go.
We've got Bravo on board. Taxi aircraft discretion, Charlie. Runway 06 and hold short 30, cargo jet 47 heavy.
So we need the nose to the right, tail to the left.
Release
Air Canada 42 Heavy Toronto, thanks. You're identified. Continue climb flight level 230.
commencing push.
Something level 230, I can't afford to.
Engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Okay, so they want to finish pushback before engine start because of icing conditions. Oh, did I select to the wrong side? I hope not. Okay, that is fine. We are going to the right side. Cool. And guys, I am right now in real life, I am here on this building. This is Sheraton Hotel here in Toronto. That's where I am right now, but I'm facing the parking. I'm facing the other side, so I cannot see the apron, but yep.
Air Canada 42 Heavy, left turn direct Epkin on course.
Is it that one or
Canada 42.
this one? Is this one? I'm sorry guys, this is the one. Sheraton Hotel here. This is Terminal 3. That's where I am, and this is the Out Hotel. Yeah, and that is Terminal 1. Yeah. So I'm here on Terminal 3 today. So as they want to do pushback, or sorry, engine start only after pushback, we have to wait.
Well, sorry, Canada 42 Heavy, Pirate. 20
Thanks God there is nobody around because this pushback was really bad.
And Air Canada 42, go ahead, your pirate.
Canada 42 Heavy, 2,000 feet off the departure of 06 left, 20 knots off.
Set parking brakes.
That parking brake, there we go.
Confirm you said,
Brakes
loss of wind
and
at 2,000 feet.
Parking brake.
Canada 42 Heavy, affirmative.
Air Canada 42 Heavy, thank you for the report.
Parking brake is set. Now we can start the engines. So start right. Just to make things go faster here, guys, I'm going to release ground personnel. I'm releasing them, they can leave while we start the engines. Engine right, almost complete.
Unlocking gear.
Yep, thank you so much. Now we go. Left engine.
Tow truck disconnected.
Toronto Centre, cargo jet 47 heavy, holding short.
Thank you.
runway 30.
Left is clear.
Cargo Jet 427 Toronto, the backtrack.
Thank you,
is
you can
approved if
disconnect.
required. You can contact me once you're airborne. Winds 320, 13, gust 23. Clear for takeoff, runway 12.
We're gonna backtrack runway 30.
So now 32 and 2, we have fuel flow,
Cargo Jet
AGTs
427,
coming
yes,
up.
apologies. You're clear for takeoff, runway 30.
Good to take off runway 30, cargo jet 47 heavy, thanks. We'll contact you M1.
N1, EGT, N2, fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, quantity, vibration is all fine. We finished. So as there are no contaminants today, thank you so much, bye bye. We can select flaps 5. for departure, and then APU off. I was thinking about engine anti-ice on, but there is no need for today the way it is. So we make a recall, TKS off. Flight controls check, and before taxi checklist. Anti-ice, for now it's auto, recall checked, flight controls checked, ground equipment is clear before taxi checklist complete.
Air Canada 265 Toronto, good day. You're cleared to Winnipeg via the F7 departure Musit transition flight plan route. Departure runway is 06 left.
Waiting for taxi clearance now.
0550.
Okay, Air Canada 265 cleared to Winnipeg off the 06 left. Abset 7 departure Musit transition and 0550 on the box.
Air Canada 265, to read back correct information Toronto Foxtrot. Give me a call when you're ready for pushback.
Welcome.
Now is information Foxtrot. Giant 1986 ready for taxi.
Giant 1986 Toronto runway 06 left, information Foxtrot, altimeter 3012. Taxi Echo Bravo, Echo Delta.
We're going to check Fox 3012, runway 6 left, Echo Bravo, Echo Delta, Giant 1986. So Echo Bravo,
42 heavy, climb flight level 3,
Echo and Delta. Altimeter is 3012, and we can check information Foxtrot. So flight information,
Center WestJet
80's request,
IFR to Montreal.
Charlie, Yankee, Zulu.
WestJet 598 Toronto, good day. You're cleared to Montreal Trudeau via the Dead Key 5 departure.
Something that I didn't discuss. Okay, this is before takeoff. Before takeoff, checklist complete. Checklist is complete. Something that I didn't discuss on.
And we're cleared by the Dead Key 5 departure mode.
Departure.
Transition and squawk 0553 WestJet.
MSA 3100. Temperature is -3 or -4, so we can think about 10% correction. So MSA is, in this case, around 3,500. As we are climbing to 5,000, we do not have to do any correction for today, on the departure at least. So we get the new 80s that says, I'm pressing the wrong button all the time. This is the com, that's what I want. Foxtrot, gusting winds 3012, temperature is -5. Same information for the runway, not a big deal. So taxi light on.
234 at flight level 3.
Brakes released. We can start
234 flight level 320.
taxi. So this is Echo Bravo. First one to the right is Echo. Left side is clear, right side is clear. $11 knots, I'm going to reduce a little bit. $9 knots. And here we go. We can start the turn. There we go, so we did the before takeoff already.
47, passing 2,800.
This is Echo Bravo, and we have to continue on Echo Bravo until we take Delta to the right.
Passing 4,000, direct New Brown course.
Flight level 230, passing.
So we are on Echo, and one, two, three, fourth, the fourth to the right. Nothing else we need to do now, apart from cancelling that communication.
Frequency Toronto Centre will close in 10 minutes.
Okay, Toronto is closing in 10 minutes. Thank you so much. at least is going to be enough for our departure. There we go.
Center count 265 with Foxtrot ready to push.
Air Canada 265, thanks for Foxtrot. Push back on lane 7, tail to the east, and call for taxi.
Release parking brake.
Tail to the east, lane.
Somebody's using also GSX there. So this is the first one to the right. Echo Alpha. Yep. Then we have Tango, Victor, and Delta. Tango is only to the left, but we have a couple of entries here to the right for the ice area. There we go. This is all the de-ice area, so if the situation is really bad, we bring the airplanes here to de-ice and anti-ice, and then we are really close to the runway, so we make sure that the fluid that we use during the anti-ice is working, and ice and snow are not going to accumulate on the wings, and we can do a safe departure. Not the case today. The weather improved a little bit, so we just did the de-ice to remove the contaminants. We do not need the anti-ice today. As well, we do not need engine anti-ice for this departure, as there are no standing water on the ramp and taxiways, and there are no precipitation. So Victor to the right. We are getting closer to... Why this is moving all the time? We are getting closer to Delta. The Delta is after Victor. Okay, next one is Delta to the right. I'm going to bring the airplane the speed down. Left is clear, right is clear. We'll be turning right. So we wait until the taxi line reaches the middle of the side window, and then we turn the 777, and if you go outside, you will see that you stay inside the taxiway. You see, you finish your turn inside the taxiway all the time. We continue straight ahead, and we can report ready for departure. SID, Capta 6. There we go. All the way now. First runway here on our left is 06 left. That's our departure runway.
Center Canada 265 ready for taxi.
Air Canada 265, Toronto, runway 06 left, information Foxtrot, altimeter 3012, taxi out Alpha Lima, Bravo Delta, cross 33 right.
Off the ramp at Alpha Lima, Bravo Delta, cross 33 right, Air Canada 265.
Giant 1986 is ready for departure.
Giant 1986, Toronto, contact me once you're airborne. The wind's 300 at 16, gust 21, clear for takeoff, runway 06 left.
Runway 06 left, clear for takeoff. Giant 1986. So let's do it quite fast here.
Cargo at 427 Toronto, continue climb, flight level 360.
Weather on the other side, rain.
American 234 Toronto, runway 05 for arrivals in Toronto, descend 17,000, altimeter 3012. American 234 Toronto, runway 05 for arrivals in Toronto, descend 17,000, altimeter 3012.
Approach is clear, runway 06 is clear, no stop bar lights, ready to go.
3012, American 234.
Okay, 50%.
Jet 598, ready for the push gate 39er.
And Toga. Thrust ref.
And WestJet 598, just make sure the transponder's on. Is that you at gate 35?
Checked.
I believe so, yes.
Alright, WestJet 598, make sure the
Lot of
transponder's on.
wind.
Push back onto lane 5, tail to the east, off taxi.
Lane 5 to the east and call for taxi, WestJet 598.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. LNAV. Not easy to control the flight sim close to the ground. Thrust ref, VNAV speed. Autopilot. Icing wing. Okay. We do not have performance to turn on the wing anti-ice right now. I do not see any issue for this. Doesn't make sense to me having this icing wing outside of the clouds. Airborne 2500 Giant 1986. Flaps up. You see,
Giant
icing wing
1986
is
Toronto,
going.
thank you. You're identified. Climb, flight level 230.
Climb flight level 230, Giant 1986. So altitude is 230. Our engine anti-ice and wing anti-ice are on. We're expecting
Giant 1986 Toronto, turn right, direct Kepta on course.
right, direct Kepta on course. Giant 1986. So legs, Kepta, direct.
Air Canada
Execute.
265 Toronto, contact me once you're airborne. The wind's 310 at 22, clear for takeoff, runway 06 left.
Clear for takeoff, 06 left. We'll call you airborne, Air Canada 265.
Emirates 228 Kilo Super, you're leaving airspace again to the south. Cleveland South.
There we go.
Frequency and surveillance service terminates.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Here is a situation where you can have some ice, yes. The way it was showing before, no, when we were out of clouds, no, without snow or rain. But now it makes sense to have engine anti-ice and wing anti-ice on. Remember, they are always in auto during flight in normal situations. So we can do after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist is complete. And there we go, we keep climbing. And that control of the airplane on the ground on the rotation is not nice on the sim. The winds doesn't work on the ground, but once you are airborne, it kicks in on the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is something that they use to help taxis and to remove the the wind effect from the ground, but it's not realistic. Anyway, we made it, and we are about to cross 10,000 feet now. So 10,000, lights off, and there we go. No more turbulence, so seatbelts can go auto. And at this stage, wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice should go off, because we do not have humidity anymore. I think Pmdg cannot identify if there is, if we are inside clouds, or if there are any kind of precipitation, so they just keep it on based on the temperature, which doesn't make much sense. But anyway, it's good to simulate. If you are in cold weather, you have the indications.
WestJet 598, I'm going to be closing down now. You can monitor the T-top for your taxi out. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You did.
Giant 1986, Toronto. I'm going to be closing. Your surveillance service terminates, so you can switch to the en route frequency. Further climb at your discretion, and have a great day.
Thank you, Giant 1986. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Take care. American 230.
So, as we are climbing now, we are going to reach 18,000 feet really soon. We are climbing 230, but we are clear to climb our discretion, so I'm going to select here 390. It's our cruise level, and change altimeter to standard, and there we go. We keep climbing.
2,600.
Aircan 265, thanks for identified. You can climb flight level 360 after noise left turn direct to AFSEP on course.
So around Hank, we can call Boston. Boston frequency will be 134.7. So I will keep 1228.
Still on frequency. Toronto Center is now closed.
And 134.7 on standby. So we can call Boston later on. You see, guys, wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice on right now. For this long, it's not necessary. We do not have any ice. Okay, the 777 can detect ice, but Pmdg cannot detect ice. So they are simulating there is ice because of the low temperature. Okay, but remember, to have ice, we need humidity and low temperature. Yes, we do have low temperatures right now, but we do not have humidity. We are above the clouds, so there should not be icing conditions right now. So this is going to be a short flight. I'm going to start thinking about my arrival. So flight information, ATIS request, Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra from VATSIM. We can send. We'll get ATIS really soon, and then we start preparing our arrival. Yeah, now we have new message. Boston Logan International, Boston Logan Airport, ATIS information Golf. So I'm going to write it down here. We have Golf from 1954, wind is 320, 19 gusting 27. More than 10 stated mile, fuel clouds 4,500, scattered 12,000, temperature is -3, and QNH or altimeter in this case 2 29er 58 is quite low. Approach are being conducted to converging runways ILS 27 approach and RNAV runway 32 approach. Departing is only 33 left. Read back all hold short instructions and assign altitudes. Wind shear advisory in effect. Numerous cranes in Boston area and in vicinity of Logan Airport advise you have information Gulf. Yep, we do have Gulf. It's good for us. Just want to check. Hank is the point that we call ATC. So Hank, 6 page. I put there so now I can see where is the position that I'm going to call Boston, which is there. Okay, let's keep climbing, and now we talk about our arrival. So G found 2 arrival. So we are coming from Punkt, then Stolly. We can work like this, right? Is a little bit better. So Ponk, Stolly, Minsta, at level 240 or above, sets 280 and 200 and at level 210 or above. So on the VNAV descent, we cannot descend with a speed less than 280, otherwise we'd never reach 280. So I'm going to use decimal 82 slash 280 for the descent. I can execute this, and so now we have the correct speed for descent, at least the speed that complies with the first speed restriction. And then we go double 17,000 or above, Basex 14,000 or above, and G found. After G found, we go autumn 270 between 11 and 12,000 feet. Winter 250 between 10 and 8,000. Harris, then spaced, something like this, yeah, spaced 220 7,000. Then we go Rever, after Rever Sihag 210 6,000, and then we keep heading 093. And then we have our approach. Approach 27 starts in IB 6,000 or above. Mandatory maximum to 6,000 is mandatory, maximum 210 knots. Then Klein, Loner, repeat. After repeat, it's already the runway. Okay, let's see if it makes sense. AB Klein 4,000 or above, Loner 3,000 or above, repeat 1,700, and then the OC deck, there is no altitude, that's why we don't need it, is our missed approach point. And then we go all the way, runway threshold crossing height 57, touchdown elevation 17. This makes 67 75, so it's slightly different from what we have here, 55, but not a big deal. And in case of missed approach, it states here climb to 3,000 outbound on Boston radial 268 to Bosox, which stays at 29.9 miles, pretty much 30 miles to Boston, and hold. That's it. The visual glide slope indication and ILS glide path, they are not coincident. The VGSI angle is 3, and we cross the threshold at 71 feet, and the ILS is crossing the threshold at 57. So in real life, we were going to cross the threshold at 57, seeing 3 reds, because the PAP is calibrated to 71 feet. MSA, highest 2,500, and we do have to correct the altitudes for this. Anything below 3,000 in this case, we do have to correct. As our platform altitude, it is 1,700. We do not go down below 2,000. Correcting with 10%, this is going to be close to 1,900, so 2,000 for repeat, and we intercept from there, most probably radar vectors, so it's not a big deal. And minimas for this approach is 460, but as temperature is low, we need to add 10% of the height. So the height now is 443. Okay, so 443. If we take 10%, it's going to be 44.3, so basically 45 feet is 10% of this altitude, and we need to add this to the minimas. So 45 feet adding to 460, this is going to make 505. So our minimas today is 505. I'm going to set this here as fast as I can. So 505 minimas for today. $505. Okay. There we go. We are getting closer to Boston. I'm going to read Boston right now. And to hear Boston. So that's another thing that we can check is the frequency, which is 111.3. Final approach course 272 makes sense. And then we can do performance calculation. Landing en route.
November 2540 Bravo, flight level 430.
As we have gusty winds, I go initially flaps 25. Anti-ice if we need, we are going to use engine. Thrust reverser, yes. All operative.
One more time. November 2540.
So with auto brake 3, we go almost to the end.
November 2540 Bravo.
Auto brake 3 and full reverses. We need, we can brake manually, it's not a big deal. So
1 mile.
but most probably we are going to need VREF plus 10.
Kilo Golf Tango Bravo.
Let's calculate again. Yeah, exceeds available distance, so auto brake 4 or maybe more flaps. So brake 4 is better for us, all operative, and that's how we are going to live.
Bravo, just what is your next waypoint and how many
So
miles?
brake
from
4,
your next
and on the approach 217 for the weight. We go flaps 25.
Near the
Speed 154 as VREF 10 knots because of the wind.
waypoint? My bad.
That is 1000 to go.
There
That's
we go.
it.
Okay, that checks. Number 2546 Bravo.
We are arriving there with 8.6 tons of fuel, so it's more than enough. Reaching 360. All fine.
November 1155, climb and maintain flight level.
So we can do a recall here.
Climb and maintain flight level.
Nothing
190,
on the
November
checklist.
5.
There are no notes, so we are fine.
Alpha Tango, descend and maintain 1000, the altimeter 2961.
So this is the ILS. We already briefed arrival and ILS, and then after landing, I'm expecting to vacate
586
at the end.
Maintain 11,000 altimeter
Kilo,
2961.
and then we continue on Kilo to the cargo ramp. So it should be an easy taxi. If we don't make Kilo, we still have Mike right and left on Kilo to the cargo ramp. So I'm going to keep this on approach, runway 27, and there we are. Boston Center, hello, Giant 1986. We are level 390, inbound punct.
Giant
19, 30, I'm sorry, what was the call sign again? Giant what?
Giant 1986, 1986.
Giant 1986, Boston Center, good afternoon. What's your distance from Ponset?
Right now, 140 miles. I think we are getting close to your airspace.
Yep, just need the miles to verify the radar. Giant 1986 radar contact, maintain flight level 390.
Maintain 390, Giant 1986. Okay, there we go.
Giant 1986 also, for today this is fine, but for future reference, Giant is GTI 1980s, or 1986, so GTI if you're going to fly Giant again.
Yeah, of course. My mistake. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so my call sign is incorrect today. I use GTA and it's supposed to be GTI for Giant. So, wrong call sign, GTI. Not GTA. Well, good enough. We are 126 miles from top of descent. We do have some weather ahead. Not really, it is below. That's the problem with the weather radar in Flight Simulator. It's showing something there that we do not have because this is below. But the sim cannot identify altitudes for the weather, so that's what we have. What else, guys? So let me try to show you something related to cold weather, which is cold altitude temperature corrections. Let me see if I go to this one. Yeah, while we are flying. So we have, this is a manual, the 777 by Latam, but it's the same for all companies around the world. So we have cold temperature altitude corrections. It says that extremely low temperatures create significant altimeter errors and greater potential for reduced terrain clearance. When temperature is colder than ISA, true altitude will be lower than indicated altitude, which means when the temperature is low, you are lower than your altimeter is indicating. Altimeter errors become significantly larger when the surface temperature approaches minus 30 degrees or colder, and also become larger with increasing height above the altimeter reference source. So if you are close to the sea level, it's lower error than if you are high. But anyway, we apply the altitude correction table when needed. So apply corrections to all published minimum departure and route and approach altitudes, including missed approach altitudes according to the table below. Advise ATC of the corrections. So MDA and DA settings should be set at the corrected minimum altitudes for the approach. That's what we did. We corrected the minimum altitude for the approach. Corrections apply to QNH and KFE operations. To determine the correction from the altitude correction table that is going to show soon, it says subtract the elevation of the altimeter barometric reference setting source, normally departure or destination airport elevation, from the published minimum altitude to be flown to determine the height above the altimeter reference source. Thanks God, GPS and chart already give us the height between parentheses, so we do not have to do this, is already on the chart. If the corrected indicated altitude to be flown is between 100 foot increments, we set the MCP altitude to the closest 100 foot increment above the corrected indicated altitude to be flown. Because we can only set MCP from 100 to 100, so we always set it above. Enter the table with airport temperature and with height above altimeter reference source. Read the correction where these two entries intersect, and then you add the correction to the published minimum altitude to be flown to determine the corrected indicated altitude to be flown. To correct an altitude above the altitude in the last column, use linear extrapolation. For example, if you want to correct 6,000 feet, we use twice the correction for 3,000 feet, or in this case. So the corrected altitude must always be greater than the published minimum altitude, and we do not correct altimeter barometric reference settings. An altitude correction due to cold temperature is not needed for the following conditions. If we have ATC radar vectors, when ATC tells you an altitude and when reported airport temperature is above 0 degrees Celsius, or if it's above the minimum is at or above the minimum published temperature for the procedure being flown. Okay, so right now today we have the temperature below 0. That's why we need to correct altitudes from the procedure when we are not on ATC radar vectors or any level assigned by ATC. And then in this case today, the temperature is between 0 and 10. Temperature in Boston, and one more time is, I'm just checking here on, I checked this, yeah, temperature was -3, okay? So between 0 and -10, okay? So we want to be conservative, so we are going to use -10, okay? If you check -10, okay, up to 2,000 feet,
Metro 9939, turn left heading
we always have
360,
10%
5,000.
correction, okay? So for 2,000 feet is 200, for example, for 800 feet is 80, and so on, okay? So basically,
586 Alpha
is
Tango.
10%.
Let me know when you have ATIS
if you go above like 3,000 feet, then it's even less than 3%. So maximum correction that we are going to have until -10 is 10%, okay? So now I'm going to write it here. Our
November 254
minimus for this approach was 460, which means a height of 443 feet, okay?
Actually, you know what, number 254.
So that means Jeppesen chart already give us
from here. I'm sorry about that.
the height above altimeter reference source, okay? So they already give us the height above altimeter reference source, which in this case,
Number 586 Alpha Tango.
I don't know why it didn't stay here. So 460 is the minimus, but the height is actually 443. Okay, so this is our height. Oh, it was here. So I can delete one of these. So our height above altimeter reference source is 443. Then if you have 10% of this, okay, if you have 10% of 443 is 44.3, which we can call then 45 feet. And then if you have 460 feet plus 45 feet that we found as correction for today, our minimus for today is 505, and it is written here. We have to, the DA setting in this case should be set at the corrected minimum altitudes for the approach. Okay, so that's why today, even though
Metro 9939, descend and maintain 3,000.
even though we are, or we have minimus on this chart saying as 460,
Delta 2989,
we are adding 10% because of the temperature, which brings us to 505 as minimus for our approach today. Okay, so anytime temperature reaches 0 or below, you need to do this correction, and you can take a screenshot of this table that I'm going to show you one more time. So let me erase this. So you can take a screenshot of this table. Okay, so this is the table that you are going to need to correct your altitudes, okay? So remember, up to -10 is 10% correction.
050.
On the Jeppesen charts, you already have the height for your minima, so it's very easy for you to make these calculations. Okay?
Boston Center Southwest 1787, descending out of 34.
So I hope you guys are following it and were able to understand why we didn't use the minimums 460 from the chart, and we are going to use 505. Usually people say that if there are no questions, everybody understood, right?
Metro 9939.
So just to finish this, highest MSA is 2,500. 2,500 is basically 2,500 feet above airport elevation, because airport elevation is only 19 feet. So then if you add 10%, this makes 250 feet. So 2,750 feet is actually our minimum safe altitude corrected for this temperature. So anytime we have any altitude on the procedure below 2,750, we need to correct these altitudes to make sure we are not going to get closer or hit the terrain on this approach. It's the same for departure. It's the same for any arrival. Okay, so first
1986, descend via the J Fund 2 arrival, runway 27, Boston altimeter 2958.
Giant 1986, descend via Jason 2 arrival, runway 27, altimeter 2958. So we can pre-select
Ripit, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer cleared ILS
2958.
Alright, 2000 established, cleared ILS 27 Metro 9939.
Oops,
Thanks.
too much.
November 417 Bravo Alpha, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Maintain level 360, November 417 Bravo Alpha.
Southwest 1787, direct Roebuck, descend and maintain
2958 set. So we are getting close to top of descent. We can select legs here to see what we need. And right now, 240 or above.
I'm very close to the...
So altitude 240 set, and we can do the descent checklist. So recall was checked, notes checked, auto brake 4, landing data VRF 25 144, minimums 505 on bottle, and approach briefing is completed. Descent checklist complete.
November 586 Alpha Tango, descend and maintain 4000.
Number 586 Alpha Tango, descend and maintain 4000.
Provincial 2263 will be requesting lower in about 5 minutes.
Yep.
There we go. Beautiful, beautiful 777 freighter by Pmdg, Atlas Air colors, and we have call sign as Giant. Don't do like I did. Don't make it GTA, it's GTI, Giant. It's GTI, the call sign for Giant for Atlas Air. And you can see here the fin number as they called on
1000 and the altimeter 2960, provincial 2263.
As they call on SimBrief. Another thing that I want to show you, I'm going to open out the training manual, and I'm going to go to general information. Let me show you this as well. So there we go. Standard Boeing 777-787 training manual.
6,700, climbing 8,000.
This was also by LATAM anyway, but it's the same for every operator. So command speed, that's something that we are going to use today.
2690 cross Abaddon.
So that is something important here when we talk about landing, okay? And it says, which is the case today, if a manual landing is planned with the auto throttle connected, okay, which is the case today, in gusty or high wind condition, consider positioning the command speed to VREF plus 10 knots. That's why we are using VREF plus 10 knots today. This helps protect against a sudden loss of airspeed during flare, okay? That's why we are going to use VREF plus 10, okay? That is the reason for our VREF plus 10 today. I think we just started the descent. Yep, idle, and we are leaving level 390. Another thing that I want to show is let me see if I can find give me 1 minute, I will try to find and show you.
Roger.
Oh, it's going to be, let me find this in a manual. So no normal. Airplane performance on wind shear, that's not the case. We can go to I'm going to show you something else now. So right now we are on the still on the LATAM, but right now Boeing 777 FC OM FCOM flight crew operations manual, and then it says wind shear. Okay, so in case we have wind shear today, there are some precautions that we can take. Okay, and for landing, it's showing later on. So for approach and landing, we can use either flaps 25 or 30. It doesn't make much difference by Boeing. I prefer flaps 25. I have a big margin to the flap placard speed, so if the speed increases or if we need to go around, we don't have to worry much about our speed for flaps 30. Stabilized approach no lower than 1,000 feet. That's what we are going to do anyway. Use the most suitable runway that avoids area of suspected wind shear and is compatible with the crosswind or tailwind limitations. We use the electronic, which is the glide slope and the visual glide path indications to detect flight path deviations, and if auto throttle is disengaged, is not the case. Avoid large thrust reduction or trim changes. Cross-check flight director commands, and crew coordination and awareness is very important. If something goes wrong, then we do have the wind shear escape maneuver to perform.
Taxi, and which runway would you like? I think it was 24 or 3.
Let's now focus on our descent.
Approval call for taxi, and we have 6 filed if we could use that, American 1446.
Yeah, we can do that, no problem.
So I hope you guys today understand why we are using VREF plus 10 instead of the standard VREF plus 5. And also why we are using 10% altitude correction on the approach, including our minimus DA of 505 today instead of the standard 460 in Boston.
Boston ground, Cessna 811 Kilo Sierra, ready to taxi.
811 Kilo Clear Boston ground is on 121.9er.
Also, they do have Boston ground now. Is that correct?
121.9er, correct? Cessna 811 Kilo Zero.
Correct. November 417 Bravo Alpha, climb and maintain 043.
Maintain level 430.
So I don't see Boston ground connected anyway, but we do have tower 128.8. I'm going to keep it on standby 128.8. This is Boston Tower. And right now we are approaching
2263 to set and maintain 6,000.
level
Down to 6,000, provincial 2263.
240.
99 Bradley approach sign off, so you're stuck with me. Expect the ILS.
And we are crossing Minsta above 240, so we can set the next one. And we can also wait for the altitude alert.
Delta 2989, expect the
Warning.
ILS 26 at Bradley.
Expect the ILS from 6, Bradley 29.
Southwest 1787, descend via the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 27, Boston, altimeter 2960.
Alright, road 7, Roebuck 3 for runway 27, Southwest 1787.
Southwest 1787, thanks. You can keep your speed up for now, but resume the published speeds at Roebuck.
Alright, we'll keep it up now, and then we'll resume at Roebuck, Southwest 1787.
Delta 3328, descend via the Roebuck.
Oh, there we go. Still descending. 240, crossing now 260. Next altitude over set is 210.
Descend via the Roebuck arrival, Delta 3328, and can you say the altimeter one more time?
Altimeter 2960 and runway 27.
Runway 27, Delta 3328, and
So there we go.
altimeter one more time.
At 24,900, we're going to hear the altitude alert.
There we go, 2960 for Delta 3328. Sorry about that.
We are crossing Minsta above 240. We can set the next one. 210 for sets.
The ILS, runway 27 approach.
Wilco 2263.
Boston Center, November 4, Echo Mike with you, level 3000.
November 4, Echo Mike, Boston Center, hello, radar contact. Proceed on course to England and maintain VFR 5,500 for now.
Proceed on course 5,500, maintain VFR 4 Echo Mike.
November 58.
Now same thing, we wait for sets to set 17,000 or 21,900 when we have the altitude alert, and then we make sure we are crossing sets at 210 or above, and then we can go down to 17,000, and in this case set our altimeters to 2958. Don't know why that is 59, is 58.
Official 2263, we've got ATIS Hotel, and we're expecting vectors ILS 27 in Boston.
November 586 Alpha Tango, 2000.
Number 586 Alpha Tango, descend and maintain 2,000 feet with a heading of 010.
Provincial 2263, thank you. November 1155, leaving my airspace. Montreal is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved.
So there we are, getting closer to 21,000 feet. We can see we are going to cross sets at 21,000 feet or above.
No problem, take care. Southwest 168, Washington is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change
Altitude alert. Next altitude 170 or 17,000.
1986 heavy. Let me know when you have ATIS Hotel and expect the ILS runway 27 approach.
ILS 27, and we are going to check hotel right now. Giant 1986.
Southwest 1787.
So,
let me know when you have ATIS Hotel and expect the ILS runway 27 approach.
We have hotel and we will expect ILS 27, Southwest 1787.
Thank you, Delta 3328. Let me know when you have ATIS Hotel and expect the ILS from
So now we cross sets. Next altitude is 17,000 or above. We can set our altimeter
we'll expect ILS
2958 and we can go for approach checklist. Altimeter 2958. Approach checklist is complete.
We'll expect the vector is ILS 27, provincial 2263.
November 4 Echo Mike, do you want fly follow?
Hold, but I'm going to bring the speed, the throttle down, because we have a lot of tailwind, 39 knots.
Approved, so you can climb to your requested cruise altitude.
I'm pretty sure that we don't need that thrust right now.
Boston Delta 8895 on the ground at Bradley, we're ready for push up to Sierra.
Delta 8895 Boston Center, hello, and what runway would you like as well?
Requesting 33 Delta 8895.
Still waiting for the 80s.
Just hold where you are now, one outbound, then I'll get you moving.
Roger.
American 1446.
There we go.
American 1446, runway 6.
Information Hotel.
Sure, runway 6.
330, 20, gusting 35, altimeter 2960. Okay, 29ers.
Provincial 2263 to set and maintain 4,000.
60.
4,000, 2263.
November 586 Alpha Tango, turn left heading 300.
There we go.
Number 586 Alpha Tango, fly 300.
Now 17,000, we are going to cross, next altitude 14,000. And Giant 1986, we have Information Hotel.
Thank you.
There we are. In American airspace, approaching Boston. As you guys can see, I reduced my throttles. When we did the altimeter change, we were below on the profile, so the airplane used a little bit of thrust to go back to the profile, and it was going to keep that thrust. But then that was going to be too much for our descent, especially with this tailwind. So I took our levers, our thrust levers, all the way back to idle. Remember, when this is in hold, FMA is in hold, you can move your throttles freely, okay? And what you want is to keep idle for now. So, basics 14,000, and then the next one is 11,000 by autumn.
Frequency change approved. Thank you and good day. Sunwing 1089.
11,000 by autumn, and they're also 270 knots.
Down to 3,000, 2263.
Delta 2989, turn right heading 180 to set and maintain 5,000, vectors ILS, runway 6 approach.
180, set 5,000, Delta 2989.
Delta 8895, push onto taxiway Sierra is approved, and when you're ready to taxi, contact Bradley approach on 123.905. He'll get you moving.
I push on the Sierra approach. We'll call Bradley for taxi Delta 8895 next.
Bus Center, how you doing? About 21, level 17,000, I recommend.
So as this is going to start to become busy, landing lights on, runway turn off on, taxi light on, all set for our landing.
Taxi, contact Tower. Tower will be online in just a moment.
Okay, we'll contact Tower, Delta 8895.
American 1446, when you're ready, contact Bradley Tower.
We are 5 miles to Alton. We need to reduce to 270 and cross that below 12,000 feet. So 12,000 feet is not a big deal. Let's see how the airplane handles the speed right now. It is supposed to pitch up.
Right, 21 Boston Center, you checked in 17,000, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you, welcome. November 586 Alpha Tango, contact Tower 128.8, have a nice day.
Yeah, 12,000 is there, we are below the profile.
Provincial 2263, descend and maintain 2000.
Speed is supposed to be 270 now. Later on, we go down to 8,000 and 250 knots. So 8,000 is set. The speed is reducing to 270 as expected by Autumn. Perfect. We just crossed Autumn 275. Yeah, it could be starting the speed reduction slightly before, but that's fine.
FedEx 95 kilo cross trait, add and maintain flight level 240.
Roger, cross trait and maintain flight level 240, FedEx standard 5 kilo heavy.
Boston Center, good day, Frontier Flight 1537, climbing out of LaGuardia at 11,000 for 17,000, we're speed restriction 250.
There we go, we are reaching 10,000 and speed is supposed to be 250 by Winter.
Provincial 2263, turn right heading 21, question 20.
Actually it's going to be 240 because of our minimum speed below 10,000 feet.
221 Boston Center, radar contact, say altitude.
4,600 for 5,000, JetBlue
Yeah, in the rear, yeah, now to 40, makes sense. It's reducing to 240, going to go back on path. You get an FMC message. That is gone. Most probably drag required.
Boston Center, Southwest 2555, 3,000 for 17,000, we're going to be a speed restriction for 250.
Southwest 2585 Boston.
So the airplane is taking slightly longer than the real airplane to reduce the speed.
Provincial 2263, turn right heading 240, join the localizer.
250 now makes sense.
Right turn 240, join the localizer.
By Winter, that was good enough, very good. And then next altitude is 7,000. 7,000 by spaced. So I can add a little bit of thrust now.
2952, expect
Engine anti-ice is on again. That makes sense because we cross some
just do not exceed 300 knots.
Some clouds. Yeah, so that makes sense. And now we do not have any anti-ice anymore. That was perfect according to the situation, the current situation right now. Well simulated by Pmdg this time.
Thanks for the info. And
going to use a little bit of thrusters again. We want to spice it at 7,000.
We're 4,000.
And here we have Boston Logan International Airport.
JetBlue 732, thank you. Climb and maintain 14,000.
Coming up to 14,000 for JetBlue 732.
There we go, Boston Logan International Airport. We are landing to the west on runway 27.
28.8, have a nice day.
Over to tower 128.8, have a good day, Provincial 2263.
Frontier Flight 1537, direct, actually, never mind, just stay towards Merritt for now.
Little bit of thrust. We keep going down.
Boston Center, Delta 499, 2,200, climbing 5,000.
220 by
Delta 499 Boston Center, hello, radar contact, maintain 5,000 for now.
Hold maintain 5,000, Delta 499.
Speedbird 15 kilo, cross trait, add and maintain flight level 240.
240 for trait, Speedbird 15 kilo.
JetBlue 221, climb and maintain.
Olha aí o Schneider, bom pouso, boa noite a todos. Obrigado pela presença aí, Schneider. Pessoal que não conhece aí o canal Charity Aviation, é sempre bom dar uma passada lá, ajudar o GRAAC, né? Quem puder contribuir lá. Quem não sabe do que eu tô falando, só passar lá no canal Charity Aviation e vocês vão entender.
Frontier Flight 1537, direct Roebuck.
So there we go. I'm going to focus right now on the approach.
2585.
Speed, VNAV path.
Heading 360.
360, 25.
220 is minimum flap up speed.
Centers offline, radar.
Leonardo Orestes, boa tarde. Feliz ano novo. Pra nós, Leonardo. Obrigado. Peterson Pazinato. Boa noite, comandante. Boa live. Fala, Peterson. Obrigado pela presença. É isso aí. Então, a galera que não conhece lá o canal Charity Aviation, passa lá. O Schneider tem conteúdo bem legal dos cenários lá do... É dos... Caraca, eu vou falar o nome dele errado, então eu não vou falar. Mas, enfim. Tem conteúdo muito bom lá. Cenário lá de Congonhas e do Santos Dumont, do Paulo Ricardo. Lembrei do nome, do Paulo Ricardo. Recomendo os vídeos dele lá. Eu, inclusive, assisti esses vídeos antes de comprar os cenários e ele ajudou, na verdade, na criação, né? VNAV out, next altitude is 6,000, my mistake, I need to... Yeah, VNAV path, we are back on path. And 210 by Semag.
Mike Victor Lima, Morrisville, with the weather and NOTAMs.
So eu vou concentrar na aproximação aqui, mas a galera que não conhece lá o canal Charity Aviation, dá uma passada lá. Terminando a live aqui, já vai pra lá. So, there we go. Let's focus on the approach right now.
1986, maintain 210 knots, descend and maintain 3,000.
Maintain 210 knots, then maintain 3,000. Giant 1986. So he wants 210. We open the speed window, we extend flaps to 1, reduce to 210, and now we were clear to 3,000 feet. Level change.
010, descend and maintain 5,000 vectors for the approach.
Alright, 010 down 5,000.
Hold for at level change speed.
Boston Center, Vision Jet.
210 is set, 3,000 feet is set. There we go. Now radar vector, so we don't care about altitude corrections anymore for the cold weather operations. We just follow whatever ATC tell us, and I'm pretty sure he's going to give us vectors to intercept the ILS from Loner or before. Loner is the minimum altitude 3,000 feet, so from Loner or before.
38 Kilo Boston Center, hello, descend and question, descend and pass discretion, maintain 1.
Let's see where is the airport. Yeah, already behind us, you can see. On top of my tail right now. Beautiful sunset. Images on Microsoft Flight Simulator, they are always beautiful.
1032 Boston Center, hello, return altitude and altitude climbing to.
1032, passing 4,600 and climbing to 7,000. Sorry, 17,000.
Thank you, and do you have a speed restriction from the previous controller?
Not yet.
Right now we are going to keep heading hold, maintain current heading, and we are going to go Abbey interception
2585 direct Roebuck
271.
Do not exceed 280 knots.
Direct Roebuck, do not exceed 280, that's 25.
For now, but I'm expecting to turn right soon, lower.
Southwest 1787, descend and maintain 4,000.
Vertical speed 500 feet per minute. We are already becoming low on this approach, so we don't need to go down that fast.
China 1986 heavy, turn right heading 240, join the localizer.
Right heading 240, join localizer, Giant 1986. So 240, heading sail, we go all the way to 240, and we can intercept from Loner, as I was telling you. Final approach course is 272. And we execute. So we have India Delta Golf uniform as ILS identified. The localizer is on the wrong, is to the left, yeah. It's already correct sensing for the localizer, but it doesn't make sense. So out. In real life this was going to be on the other side, but eventually now we are more less than 90 degrees. We can intercept localizer. Localizer is armed.
7, turn left heading 360, descend and maintain 3,000.
360 and then 3,000 southwest.
Giant 1986 Heavy, 3 miles from Loner, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 27 approach.
Clear ILS runway 27 approach, Giant 1986. So approach.
Giant 1986 Heavy, thank you, maintain 170 knots or greater until rip it.
170 or greater until rip it, Giant 1986. So now we go flaps 5, localizer is capture. We can reduce to 178 right now, and we need to maintain 170 until repeat. So I'm going to select flaps 15 and reduce the speed to 170.
And maintain 5000 Delta 328.
And then we keep 170 until repeat.
210, Delta 1787.
Beautiful sunset, runway is already ahead, we can see a lot of wind right now, 27, we're expecting gusting winds on this approach.
Heavy, contact tower 128.8, have a nice day.
128.8, Giant 1986, thank you, bye bye.
American 1446 Boston Center, stay out.
Boston Tower, hello, Giant 1986, ILS runway 27.
Giant 1986 Heavy, Boston Tower, winds 33020, gust 26, right 27, clear to land, traffic will cross downfield prior to your arrival.
Roger, clear to land, runway 27, Giant 1986 Heavy. There we go.
United.
So glide slope is coming up. Our missed approach
on a final
is 3,000 feet, is already set.
27 on Charlie, United 754.
Glide slope capture, missed approach is set. And now the airplane descends on the glide slope. This is Radio Team Live. Okay, we go gear down, flaps 20, we maintain 170 knots for now. Speed brake, we arm. So we need to maintain 170 until repeat. We are 1.1 miles to repeat. So we are now about to cross repeat. So 170 is there, we can start reducing. Now flaps 25, and our VREF plus 10 today, 154 because of the gusty winds. We can open the landing checklist, just waiting flaps to reach 25. So landing checklist is complete. Land 3, roll out and flare armed. I could be doing an automatic landing. Maximum crosswind for landings in United States is 15 knots. We do have more than this right now. We have, 15 from the right, but with the gusty winds, I will not keep autopilot connected all the way with these conditions. So as I'm using my laptop today, I need to zoom in a little bit to be able to see my primary flight display here. It's not the best camera to land, because if you zoom out, it's better to have if you zoom it out, you can see it better, and when you zoom in, you lose a little bit of the visuals that we have in real life. But anyway, that's the way I'm going to do. So manual flight director, continue landing. So I keep the flight director. I'm keep flying to the runway. Wind is coming from the right.
We just hit some shear there.
Close to the ground. I'm going to apply left rudder, right aileron.
260, climb, maintain 3,000.
Alright, 260, 3,000, Southwest 1787.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Full reverse. Yeah, the wind is pushing the airplane to the right.
Southwest 1787, contact.
Manual brakes.
134.7 feet.
Unable to leave on this one. We take the next one.
Boston Tower, United 754, holding short, runway 33.
Which is going to be Kilo, the one that we were waiting for it.
Continue holding short. Ready, awaiting IFR release.
Roger.
Giant 1986 Heavy, turn right on Kilo, contact ground point 9 or see ya.
Right Kilo, ground point 9 or Giant 1986, bye bye, thank you.
Boston Tower, Delta 328 is on ILS approach for 27.
I'm going to vacate the runway.
3328 Boston Tower, winds 33020, gust 36.
And 121 decimal niner.
Caution wake turbulence, heavy 777, just touchdown.
Runway 27 cleared to land, Delta 3328.
Boston ground, hello, Giant 1986. We are on Kilo, we are going to the south cargo ramp.
Giant 1986 Heavy, Boston ground, taxi to the ramp via Kilo, cross runway 4 left.
Taxi to the ramp via Kilo, cross runway 4 left, Giant 1986, thank you, bye bye.
See ya.
So this is Kilo. I'm keeping the lights on to cross. Right side is clear, left side is clear, and then we can start thinking about our... So lights, they stay all on. We can retract the flaps, auto brake to off. Transponder to... we keep in TA array until we cross the runway. Let's see if we can manage to get something from GSX.
Boston ground, hello, American 277.
Yeah, that's the spot that we want.
Hotel, ready for clearance.
Good enough. We just crossed the runway. So we can take the lights
277 or American 217?
off.
That was American 217.
American 217, Boston ground information.
Transponder to transponder.
Push back my destruction, American 217.
Oh, I didn't retract the speed brakes. My mistake. Was the first section to do after landing.
Metro 106, amendment to your departure frequency. Departure is going to be with Boston.
So there we go, TCAS off. We can cancel this warning.
330, Metro 106.
Very nice, we could find that parking position. You can see, you can
American 217,
notice the gusty winds sometimes on our primary flight display on the speed tape. We're going to see that the speed goes above 30 knots, even though we have 5 knots now, because the wind is blowing towards our airplane right now. You see, right now, you see 30, it went all the way to 35, 36, so as we have 5 knots ground speed, I can tell you that we have 31 knots of wind. headwind right now, at least 31 knots headwind component. That was our wind coming from the right on the approach for runway 27. So that's why 10 VREF plus 10 is a good idea, even though you tend to float. Okay, so you need to be careful not to let the airplane float in these situations.
Metro 106, cross runway 4 right at Charlie, hold short runway 27.
Cross 4 right at Charlie, short at 27, Metro 106.
Metro 106, thanks. Monitor Boston Tower 128.8.
We'll monitor the tower 28, Metro 106, take care.
Good day.
I'm sorry, guys. I want to see if the sim recovers or not. While I wait for the sim, let's read the rest of messages here. O Schneider falou que depois da live vai fazer uma live ali com o novo cenário do Paulo Ricardo, que fica na região sul. Bora acompanhar essa live aí do Schneider também. Pessoal, o simulador eu acho que travou, tá? Aconteceu tanta coisa aqui que o simulador eu acho que travou. Vocês estão vendo aí o simulador parado. Eu não consigo voltar para os... consegui. Só porque eu falei, consegui voltar para o simulador agora. Então vamos parar essa aeronave aqui. Eu vou dar a partida no APU. E eu quero só ver se a nossa posição o GSX sumiu. Então eu vou botar o GSX aqui de novo. Alguma coisa aconteceu, mas tudo bem. Não tem problema, a gente vai conseguir resolver. É esse aí. É esse spot aqui do lado esquerdo. Então eu vou dar um pouquinho de motor. Vou girar aqui. Agora eu tô vendo. A gente entra um pouquinho de lado aqui. É isso? Tirar taxi light. Vamos parar esse avião de fora? Já que a gente não tem balizador hoje. Tá bom. Não foi o melhor... Oh, sorry guys, I was talking in Portuguese right now because I was talking to my Brazilian friends. But anyway, this was not the best parking. I couldn't see any marshaller to guide us through. So we went to the outside camera and to continue this. So parking brake is set. We do have APU running. So we can shut down both engines right now. And then seat belts off, hydraulic pumps off, fuel pumps off, beacon light off. We can even turn the storm light on, fly directors off, transponder on standby, and there we are. So I had a problem with my internet connection. Not a big deal. We are back and we can do shutdown checklist. I didn't turn off the weather radar and the terrain after landing. So now we have parking brake is as a set, so I can go FS actions, ground connections, wheels to set, remove parking brake, and then parking brake is released, checklist is complete. Let me see if GSX can help us with no. It's not considering an active place, so I cannot request for deboarding here, and we are going to finish like this. Okay, so that is the way. Was supposed to be logo light on just to finish this live stream. So guys, important, I talk in Portuguese to my friends, but if you are following me today and you speak English, please join now the Charity Aviation by George Schneider YouTube channel as well. He's going to show us a new scenery from the South region in Brazil. This scenery was developed by Paulo Ricardo, a well-known scenery developer in Brazil and most probably around the world as well. So join Charity Aviation channel and stay tuned, because he's going to perform a live stream in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Galera, então vamos colar lá no canal do Schneider. Daqui a pouquinho eu colo lá também para ver esse cenário. Obrigado a todo mundo que acompanhou hoje também. Um grande abraço e até a próxima. Falou!